So Keith, you've got 4 kids at home. Mine are grown. I have grandkids sometimes, but there's got to be a lot of pressure, chaos in a home with children, young children. So how do you manage your home? How do you deal with the chaos, especially without falling into fleshly frustration or anger?
Yeah, that's a great question. And not only do I face it in my own home, but face it in the counseling room all the time, right? And so the main focus I try to keep in mind is patience. And I see that principle in Ephesians 6 of the command to fathers is that we would not exasperate our children, that we wouldn't provoke them to anger, but we're to bring them up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord. And there's a gentleness there, there's a tenderness there. And if I am able to be patient with little ones who are still learning patience themselves, if I can be the adult in the room, if you will, and try and lead them in those ways, I find that's always superior to getting angry myself or provoking them to anger.
That's great, and I love your reference to Ephesians. There are 2 passages that come to my mind right away. One is just thinking in terms of Galatians 5 and the fruit of the Spirit as opposed to the deeds of the flesh, and that for us, if we feel anger, we feel temptation to have an outburst, that's an indication not that our children are causing us a problem as much as I'm not walking in the Spirit. If I'm walking in the Spirit, even under provocation, I should have peace and patience and joy and exhibit the fruit of the Spirit in love. And so I'm tempted to think they need to change, something's wrong with them, but really the problem initially needs to be with me, that I need to be walking with the Lord, especially under that kind of pressure, with that kind of heat coming. I need to be sure I'm very close to the Lord, or I need to back off until I am.
No, absolutely. I agree with that entirely. So often we can be angry that our children aren't more mature. Like, as if we would get angry for our children for not being fully grown, like physically fully grown. I mean, it's absurd on the face of it, right? And so too with character, that we would be angry that they're not fully grown in Christian character. But to cultivate that patience as opposed to seeing the problem is with them and they need to change. And you're rightly pointing back to, no, I need to take stock of my own self. And am I leading and guiding them?
The other verse I'll just mention briefly is in Deuteronomy 6, when we're told to teach our children the word. He says this word must first be on your heart. And so for us to be in the word and walking with the Lord is necessary before we try to get our children to conform to what we think the scripture says they should be.
That's good.